Hey guys, greetings to the red and black faithful. This is Flamengo. Welcome to the Paparazzo Rubro Negro channel. If you're just arriving, I invite you to follow, like, and share on all platforms. If you're on YouTube, I invite you to subscribe down below, turn on notifications by clicking the bell, and leave a like on the video. We're here thanks to the support of Caravana do Haroldo. You can secure your spot at Flamengo's games with Caravana do Haroldo. Man, Caravana do Haroldo takes you abroad outside Brazil and all over Brazil. Copa do Brasil, Libertadores, the Brazilian Championship. It also takes you to the games at Maracanã with the ticket included, and you can secure your spot right now. Caravana do Haroldo has years of experience and never ever has anyone complained about it. It's top-notch VIP service since the 1981 world title, and you already have a package for the Champions League too, right? You can book Champions League travel with Caravana do Haroldo. Didn't I say it wasn't just Flamengo? And more, do you want to lose weight like I'm losing weight with Mais Cabello? With the Mais Slim program from Mais Cabello, you can lose weight too. The evaluation is free here. You can take advantage of Mais Cabello. Look, our team is at Ninho do Urubu and we have a lot to talk about here. It's a full-blown crisis. There's general outrage. A crisis at Fluminense caused by the president and by what happened. The leak about Flamengo's day off yesterday caused a general outrage at Fluminense, and we're bringing you this information here. The profiles that cover Fluminense, the Fluminense influencers, they're all outraged, even calling for the impeachment of the president of Fluminense. Because what happens there is that they believe a day off was given. Fluminense gave Flamengo a day off and took away their own players' day off. And the Fluminense players who say they weren't even consulted, didn't have a say, are also outraged. So the outrage there is widespread. They're calling for the president's impeachment. Look, I've never seen such a big crisis at another club, and even worse, it wasn't caused by Flamengo. They just twisted the knife. Flamengo played, won their game, and in the end, Flamengo had their match postponed. It was good for both. The truth is, it was good for both. The postponed match was good for both, right, Otinho? The postponed match was good for both. But it's obvious that for example, as president of Flamengo, if I were president, I would say, no, I can't help you, because I would be hurting myself. That's how I see it. Both teams had a game off and had an extra day to rest before the match, but now they're just complaining as an excuse after losing to Flamengo. That's the truth, but we know that in a rivalry, if one side doesn't accept it, that's part of it, right? That's part of the rivalry. Now, what happened with them losing is making them upset. They lost Lucio Acosta to a ligament injury, and the situation with the break. The Fluminense players are upset that they didn't have a say, that the president of Fluminense made a statement just hours before the game. All of that affected the guys. They're upset. Then you add Flamengo's victory and this issue, so it was the icing on the cake. The Flamengo players got a day off, while the Fluminense players didn't even have a proper training session. They basically had to train anyway. But like that training session was short, very little training time. The game against Rivadavia, so they're there desperate. They didn't even get a day off. And the training won't be the same as it would have been if they had played on Saturday. The truth is, all of this is just an excuse. They're just making excuses, right? And we already know the more crisis they have over there, the better. Ilan better not hear this, my friend Jose Ilan, but the truth is, their president got really upset, right? He said that anyone who isn't Fluminense, who doesn't cover Fluminense, and so on, just wants to see the chaos. But that's not it, man. That's not it. We're just bringing the information here. It really was good for Flamengo, right? And really, it had nothing to do with some clubs that have been commenting out there. It had nothing to do with them, right? But at least we're happy that Flamengo is managing to recover. And look, it's important for us to mention here, right? I said earlier, it didn't notify. What Leonardo Jardim is doing with Paquetá and Pedro, he's going to get Paquetá and Pedro into the World Cup squad. Because both of them are in Ancelotti's good graces. Paquetá is a player Ancelotti really likes. We know that Ancelotti likes Lucas Paquetá and sees him as a possible call-up. He was waiting for the player to recover. He analyzed some other options. There's Danilo and so on, but I think Lucas Paquetá, the information I get is that he really likes Lucas Paquetá. I think there's still time for Paquetá to be called up for the remaining games. And Leonardo Jardim, great guy, you'll see here, great guy. He spoke to the press today. He spoke to the press with a lot of kindness. He's an amazing guy, Leonardo Jardim. Today, his main project was to help Pedro and Paquetá recover and to get Pedro back to top form. Bringing Pedro back to his best moment, that's Leonardo Jardim's main plan. By doing that, he helps Pedro, helps the national team, helps everyone. And Paquetá, who has been playing with Pedro since futsal, both of them growing at the same time. I dare say there's a good chance that Paquetá and Pedro will be called up for the World Cup, especially because Leonardo Jardim is prioritizing this, and we know that Ancelotti likes both of them a lot. And since we're talking about Pedro, Leonardo Jardim, and everything else, let's now take a look at footage from Ninho do Urubu of the Brazilian national team's training, Flamengo, Leonardo Jardim's team, Flamengo's training, the moment when Leonardo Jardim arrives to thank the press for covering Mengao's training session. And also Lucas Paquetá, Lucas Paquetá, who is going to the World Cup, and Pedro being honored by Flamengo. Congratulations to Pedro, in great form, only scoring amazing goals, providing assists. Man, it's hard to believe this guy used to be a substitute, right? Man, Pedro is a starter on any team in Brazil or in the Americas, and in Europe he would also be a starter on the top teams there too. Okay, guys? I dare say that he would be a starter on some of the top teams in Europe. What do you think? Let's keep watching now. While you comment, join in, share, because that's really important.
Just stopping by to thank you all for being here with us. Okay. And to cover it. You can go to the other one, you can go to the other one. You three have shows every 3 days. We watched 1.5 minutes there, so 2, 1, 5, 3, 4, 5. I'm trying to understand this, son. Sometimes the players don't understand, so let's go. Let's go. Let's... That's it.
Good morning, thank you. Flamengo greetings. Good morning, everyone, good morning. Well, we're here today to celebrate, right, amid all the day-to-day craziness of football. Sometimes we take a moment to recognize great achievements. And when we start to realize that there are players who, day by day, are making their names part of the club's history, it's always good for us to celebrate and recognize that. So, Pedro, we're here today with a plaque. A plate, right? Let's show everyone. Celebrating the fact that you were already a top tenor, and now you're getting to the top, right? So, to paraphrase the Formula One folks, right? Romario better watch out. Pedro is showing up in his rearview mirror. And getting close to a guy like Romario is fundamental, especially considering that during your time here with us, you've had some really important achievements. So, you not only managed to reach this personal milestone, but also made history for the club. You achieved great things with Flamengo, and we hope for many more. On behalf of the Flamengo Nation and Clube de Regatas do Flamengo, congratulations, and thank you, Pedro.
Thank you, President. First of all, I want to thank God for this recognition, right? Everything I've experienced here at Flamengo is only by His grace. And I want to share it with my family, to share it with my teammates who have been here with me. Since I arrived here, since 2020, they've been helping me grow, helping me win here as well. And without a doubt, this recognition is something very, very big, really big for me, right? It's something that's gratifying because it brings back a flood of memories without a doubt. Since I got here, earning my place, earning it with a lot of hard work, with a lot of humility, knowing the greatness of the club, knowing the whole squad, right? Which is very big here at Flamengo with a lot of quality and being able to fit into the group, right? I also won over the fans who have given me all their support since I arrived. I shared this recognition with the Flamengo fans. And like you said, right, we don't stop for anything. I hope we can achieve even more, but without a doubt, a lot of memories come to mind. Like I said before, I arrived at Gavea when I was 8, started in futsal, then moved to the field. And now, to have this achievement here at Flamengo, it's something that without a doubt is moving, and my family without any doubt is very happy about it too. And to share it with them, I hope that, as he said, we can achieve even more this year. Thank you very much.
There, bye. Take that picture. That's it. Pedro, can you get the whole reflection of the chart here? I'll leave it here so you can do more.
No, I'll take it.
You can take it in 5 minutes.
This way, this way. Oh, sorry, guys.
It's Romario. It's Romario. It's Romario. Kisses. Kisses, it's something to celebrate.
This way, this way. I left it for everyone to see.
Just 2 minutes, real quick. Thank you. President, they're eager to talk to Guto, and to you as well. I'm not really sure what this is about. I don't play soccer. I don't know what they want to talk about, but they want to say something. Guys, good morning. Let's get ready for Thursday's game.
Good afternoon, thank you.
Chico Aislado and the caravan passes. Who wants to take a close-up photo? Let's go.
Flamengo players have now arrived here on field 2, right? To do some closer work. They're divided into 2 teams, one with vests and one without. Let's try to identify the 2 teams, starting with the team without vests, with Andrel in goal. Andrel. So here we have, help me out Bruno, is it Varela? Varela. Leo Ortiz and Leo Pereira. Varela, Leo Ortiz, Leo Pereira, and Alexandre, right? Over there on the wing. In the middle, it seems to be Everton Araujo. It's Everton Araujo. Yes, good afternoon. Thank you very much. Plata, Lucas Paquetá, Arrascaeta, Samuel Lino, and Pedro. Yeah, those would be the starting 11, but with Andrel instead of Rossi. On the team in bibs, we have Agustin Rossi, Emerson Royal, right? Royal, Danilo Vitão, and Ayrton, who's moving up there to the attack. There in the middle we have, where is he? Where is he? Hold on, it's Saul. Saul, look over there. Saul training with the group. Saul Niguez together with Nico de la Cruz there. Look, that duo can do some damage, huh? Saul, Nico, and who else? Who else? In the middle, it must be Carrascal following the logic. There's Ayrton, Luis Araujo up front, Luis Araujo, Carrascal, and Bruno Henrique. I think there's one more here. Who is it? That's Bruno Henrique. That's Alassian over there. So Flamengo players are split between those with vests and those without vests. Maybe already indicating a possible lineup for the match against Independiente de Medellin, and Saul is training with the group.
And there's exclusive news here from our friend Angelo Furtado from the Angelo Furtado channel, which has a lot of exclusive Flamengo news. Leo Pereira's contract renewal. Flamengo will start the renewal process with defender Leo Pereira soon. They had already made a salary adjustment for Leo Pereira. We were bringing you updates about both him and Rossi. But anyway, the defender has a valid contract until the end of 2027. The board intends to extend his contract until 2028 with the possibility of an extension until 2029. In addition, Flamengo will offer a salary increase to the player wearing number 4, which they were actually already doing with him. The idea is to protect against possible approaches from European football. They want to sign Leo Pereira, especially after the 2026 World Cup. Flamengo is very confident that Leo Pereira will shine at the World Cup. I also think Flamengo needs to protect itself, right? We know that Leo Pereira is really in great form, right? And he's going to be called up. I have no doubt that he's going to the World Cup, Leo Pereira, okay? So we've already seen some footage of Flamengo's training with our team there at Ninho de Urubu, right? It was really far away, but we could see a little bit of the training. And also the information we brought you. Look, Flamengo has released a complete medical update on the squad with players at different stages of recovery. Midfielder Saul Niguez has already left the medical staff's care and is in the transition phase. Look how great that is. He is participating in training normally and showing good progress. The coaching staff led by Leonardo Jardim will decide the ideal time for his return. Defensive midfielder Jorginho is still recovering from an injury and has been in treatment for 9 days. The player is doing indoor activities at the gym, still not cleared to go on the field, and with no expected return date. Midfielder Nicolas de la Cruz is not a fitness concern, but received special attention because of the altitude. Without specific treatment, he responded well to the preparation, which included supplements and a pressurized hotel. Defensive midfielder Eric Polgar suffered a shoulder dislocation in the match against Red Bull Bragantino. He progressed well within the expected time frame, is already working out in the gym, but still does not have a set date to return to the field. Forward Everton Cebolinha is training normally with the group and is showing a good response, within the estimated time frame of 3 to 4 weeks for injuries of this type. Meanwhile, midfielder Lucas Paquetá still has a fracture that is in the process of healing. The player already played in the last match using this protection, which allows greater freedom of movement, indicating progress in his recovery, and he is playing well despite that. The Ecuadorian Gonzalo Plata trained today with protection on his hand, but there is no information regarding any injury. So that's some important information. And also that there was some news involving Lohan. Flamengo negotiated with Pisa, and the player will return to Flamengo. Flamengo is getting back a homegrown player who was once considered the biggest gem of their youth academy. So the player will return to Flamengo. Pisa will not exercise the option to buy midfielder Lohan. Man, he's a really good player. This player under Leonardo Jardim. I want to say this. Lohan coming back to Flamengo under Leonardo Jardim. This guy is going to soar, I have no doubt. He's the kind of player Leonardo Jardim likes to work with. He's that kind of player, like Mateus Gonçalves. If Mateus Gonçalves were still here, my friends, I have no doubt about what Leonardo Jardim would do with him. Lohan has everything it takes, and coming back to Flamengo, he can be fully utilized by Leonardo Jardim. He's still young, 19 years old, returns to Flamengo in July this year. It's a big man. It's a signing, a real signing. A player who was even considered in Russia with a high offer, but in the end it didn't happen. I think it was Lokomotiv. I can't remember right now. Lohan played only 9 matches wearing the Italian club's jersey. The young man's contract with Flamengo is valid until December 2029, information from Vene Casagrande. But I repeat, all of this has Leonardo Jardim's influence. He will want to get this guy back on track. He'll want to get this player back on track who plays really well, okay? I really like Lohan's game. If he's in a good headspace, if he's being used the right way, he has everything it takes to shine at Flamengo. What do you guys think? Do you agree with me about Lohan? And he's a midfielder who can be really important for Flamengo, guys. He can be really important. I think there's nothing better than being able to bring back one of our own. To wrap up this video, look, Liberta Depre posted, and we have to talk about the rivals too. Botafogo, check this out. In 1 year, John Textor increased Botafogo SAF's gross debt by more than 1.4 billion. At the end of 2024, the gross debt of the Rio de Janeiro team was around 1.14 billion. 0.14 billion today, according to the appraisal report commissioned by SAF itself. The amount is over 2.5 billion. 2.5 billion in debt. Botafogo is going to go bankrupt. Botafogo, it's going bankrupt, guys. Botafogo's situation is unbelievable. It's unbelievable. And we have another important thing we need to talk about here, and I find it astonishing. Guys, look at this. CRF Models posted here, the Eagle Football Group put Botafogo up for sale in a newspaper ad. A newspaper ad. Botafogo up for sale in a newspaper ad, my friends. It's here. It's not made up. Botafogo up for sale in a newspaper ad. What a shame, man. What a shame. I feel bad for our rival, man. I feel sad about this. You know why? I keep wondering how we hit rock bottom because of SAF, and now they want to become SAF and sell again. And there are other rivals of ours who want to become SAF too. Look how crazy this is, guys. Look how crazy this is. It's here, Eagle Football Holdings. Check this out. Announcing.
Yeah. Ew.
The SAF of Botafogo, one of Brazil's most historic football clubs. Guys, they're listing Botafogo, just like we post on Craigslist here in the United States. Back in Brazil, we'd place the ad at the counter. Who took it to the counter? Over there at O Globo newspaper, in the classified section. Man, I have to go so I don't cry. Botafogo, one of the most historic clubs in Brazil. For sale. My God. My God. What's this? Botafogo for sale in the newspaper in the classifieds. Guys, I'm done with this one because this was too much for me, man. That's crazy. The neighborhood. What a rough patch for that neighborhood, brother. What a rough patch. That's it. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and like the video. Greetings, Brunegras. This is Flamengo. Thanks.